Because of the federal government's unique position as a currency issuer, the federal government, the national government, occupies a place no other economic actor can duplicate. As long as the national government's bills are in the currency that it prints, that government never has to worry about insolvency or bankruptcy. The government's only boundary is if it prints too much money is inflation. Unlike you or I, or unlike state governments, a federal government can only go insolvent if it chooses to. Otherwise, in America, the U.S. government can always pay its dollar debts. Thus, the phrase living within your means means something vastly different for the national government than it means for a mere mortal like I. For the federal government, living within your means should not refer to some numerical balance between revenue, intake, and expenditure. It should refer to the duty of government to embrace policies that move all of the nation's assets, its people, its resources, its plant and equipment towards the fullest employment possible for the fullest benefit possible. The totality of these assets are what constitutes a nation's means. We best live within our means by not letting our assets lie fallow or idle, but putting them to use for the benefit of all. So those who chirp that government must live within their means usually are talking about some opposition to a social welfare program. Their stark opposition to these social programs that we want blinds us and keeps us from questioning what is probably the most lucrative welfare program in existence. Have you ever wondered why a government that prints its own money has to borrow it?
Interesting. Very interesting.
Imagine a town where a baker bakes bread, but he cannot eat the bread from his own oven. He has to go to the store and buy the bread that he has baked. You would think something is wrong with that town and that ordinance. But what goes on here? Tell you. The scheme was set up where governments would have to sell bonds to borrow money. Borrow money from whom? From big financial houses. The trick is, since government prints the currency, government will always pay. So, by selling these bonds to the financial houses, you ensure them of a stream of income that is infallible. It is one of the biggest welfare scams that have ever existed. While people are talking about welfare mothers and welfare people stealing a little bit here and there, over the years, trillions of dollars have poured into the coffers of financial houses that don't need them. Now, in conclusion, permit me to say that 50 years ago, Black people showed the courage to fight the malign ideas that used to define our relationship to the social and the political institutions of this country. Then we entered the segregated places where we were not wanted, and in doing so, we redefined ourselves and redefined this nation for the better. We face bleak and dismal times once more, but that is the nature of life. There will always be good and bad, justice and injustice. We must not flinch or tire from our responsibility. Our humanitarian duty is to do what is proper and what is condign. The effort will be hard, yet our collective history tells us that we have no other alternative but to resist this unjust imposition. We must summon the same courage to enter places where economic ideas and policies of this nation are being made. Places that the masters of these economies don't want us to know about and certainly don't want us to enter. For the good of this nation and all of its people, once again, Black America must form the vanguard of a fundamental redefinition of the relationship between government and its people. This time we do so in the realm of economics. And if we don't do this, If we don't make this stand, too many of our brothers and sisters will be left gazing the vapors of a fleeting hope. This is opposite to what we have struggled for and what so many people have given their lives for. This book, Financialism, was written to help us summon the courage to turn the wheel of our economic